Hey, hello friends, and welcome to RetroPortal Studio, and this is a quick tip video for the comparison of lists and maps in Flutter. Right now I'm in a simple Flutter app with this my home page, which is a stateful widget. In this video we're not going to be dealing with any UI. All I'm going to do is I'm going to use this initState function to compare the list and maps and print the equality result in this run window right here. Right now you can see that we have two lists, that is list 1 and list 2, which are completely identical. After this, I'm using the equality operator to check the equality for list 1 and list 2 and store the result in this equality boolean. Next, I'm printing this equality, and you can see that even though the lists are equal, the result of the equality is false. So how can we actually compare two lists? Well, for this what we have to do is we have to use a class called deep collection equality and create an instance of this. So I'll name this DC equality and put it equal to deep collection equality. Now, one thing you can notice is that I'm not getting the help of IntelliSense to complete my code. So I have to manually add the import for using this deep collection equality. Now, this deep collection equality class comes from the collection package. So I have to go up in the main.dart file, and here I'll use import and I'll write package, collection, and in this I'll use the collection.dart file. And now when I go down, you can see that the error for the deep collection equality is gone away. Now, to compare the lists, what I have to do is I have to use DC equality dot equals, and in this you can see that we have to pass two variables. So I'll use this equals function, and in this I'll pass in list 1 and list 2. And now when I run the app, you can see that in the run window we get the equality check of true. Now let's say we shuffle the entries in the second list. For this we'll use list2 dot shuffle. Now the order of the entries in list 2 is different from those in the list 1. In this case, when I run the app, you can see that even with the deep collection equality, the result becomes false. Now, in this case, if you want the result of equality to be true, what you have to do is you have to use deep collection equality dot unordered. And now when I run the app, you can see that the result of the equality is true. So now you can see that with the help of deep collection equality, we can easily compare lists, both unordered and ordered. So let's move to the comparison of maps. For this, I'll use two maps. That is map 1 and map 2. You can see that these maps are completely identical. Now let's compare these maps with a simple equality operator. For that I'll use map 1 equal to map 2. And now when I run the app, the result is false for the equality. Once again, for this what we can do is we can simply use the deep collection equality, and we can use DC equality dot equals map 1 and map 2. Now when I run the app, the result for the equality is true. Now, there is one catch with this deep collection equality class. This can only be used if you're using this in a Flutter project. But if you're creating a Dart CLI project, then for such comparison of lists and maps, you have to use a package called collection. So let's move to a Dart CLI project. Okay, so this is a simple Dart CLI project, and in the pubspec.yaml, I have added the package of collection under the dependencies section, and make sure to click on this get packages button after you change the dependencies. Now back to the main file, and in this you can see that we have list 1 and list 2. Now in this we don't have any deep collection equality class. Instead what we have is a list equality to check the equality of lists, and we can create a new instance of list equality and put it equal to list equality. Now to compare the lists we can use list equality dot equals, and in this I'll pass in list 1 and list 2, and I'll store the results in boolean of equality, and I'll print equality with the value of equality. So now when I run the app, you can see that the result of equality is true. Now let's say we shuffle the entries of list 2 like we did with the previous project. For this we'll use list2.shuffle, and now when I run the app, the result is going to be equality of false. Now for this we can't use list equality. Instead, what we have to use is unordered iterable equality, and I'll use the same class to create the instance. And in this case, when I run the project, you can see that the result of equality is true. Now for the comparison of maps, I'll remove the lists from here and I'll uncomment the maps. For this, we have to use the class called map equality, and I'll use the same class for instance. And in this case, I'll pass in map 1 and map 2. And when I run the app, you can see that the result of this equality is true. Now, if you want the same code to be used in a Flutter and Dart project, then you can use the same collection package in your Flutter project for the comparison of lists and maps. I hope you found this video useful, and if you do, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and also consider following me on Twitter for future updates. See you next time. Peace.